Hello all, welcome to Module 03 of the AZ-104 exam prep series. If you are liking the series, please do like and subscribe. After modules Identity 01 and RBAC 02, this module covers governance, the tools Azure provides to control, organize, and manage environments at scale. Topics covered in this module are management groups, organize subscriptions hierarchically subscriptions, billing boundaries, limits, management Azure policy, enforce rules, audit compliance, remediate drift at resource locks, protect critical resources from accidental change/deletion tags, label resources for cost allocation and automation, cost management, and Azure Advisor, monitor spend, set budgets, get recommendations. This module maps to manage Azure identities and governance domain, 20 to 25% exam weight. Let's discuss management groups. Management groups solve governing many subscriptions at once. Here are some key facts. Every intra-ID tenant gets one tenant root group automatically. Nest MGs up to 6 levels deep, max 10,000 per tenant. Root MG cannot be deleted or moved. A subscription belongs to exactly one parent MG and can be moved later. Global admin elevation to root MG is the emergency access mechanism. Inheritance of policy or role. This is same as RBAC scope. Policy or role at a higher scope flows down to everything below. Say, for example, if you assign require tags policy at root MG, every resource in every subscription must comply and must have tags. Exam. Apply policy to all company subscriptions, root management group scope. Limits. 10,000 MGs, 6 nesting levels. Let us now discuss subscriptions. A subscription has two core purposes. 1. Billing. All resource costs roll up to the subscription. 2. Resource boundary. Quotas, limits, and permissions apply per subscription. Subscription types. Pay as you go, this is the default. Enterprise agreement. 3-year commit for discounts. Dev/test. Discounted, no production workloads. Free trial, $200 for 30 days. His is. Here are some key limits. Exam testable, 980 resource groups, 50 tags per resource, 250 storage accounts per region. These are soft limits. Microsoft support can raise them. Management of subscription. Renaming only changes the display name. The subscription ID, a GUID, is permanent. Cancel gives 90 days to recover data. Moving to a different MG changes governance context only. Resources are untouched. Azure Policy Overview. Azure Policy is your automated compliance engine. There are 3 core concepts. 1. Policy definition. JSON with policy rule. If, condition, then do something. For example, if a VM doesn't have tag environment, then deny creation. Azure has 500 plus built-ins. 2. Next is policy assignment. A definition does nothing until assigned to a scope. You can add exclusions, for example, skip RG legacy. Parameters let you customize per assignment, for example, list of allowed regions. Note, this takes about 30 minutes to activate. Next is 3. Policy initiative. Set bundle of policies for a compliance framework. Azure Security Benchmark bundles 200 plus policies. Assign once, get all of them. Let's consider the effects, which is critical for exam. Audit. Evaluates. Logs non-compliant resources. Does not block. Deny. Evaluates. Blocks the create/update if non-compliant. Append. Adds required properties during creation, force a tag. Modify. Changes properties on existing resources during create/update. This DeployIfNotExists. Deploys a companion resource if missing, for example, diagnostic settings on every VM. requires managed identity. For example, audit if not exists. Audits if a related resource doesn't exist. Disabled. Policy is inactive. Here are some key exam distinctions. Audit is not equal to deny. Audit flags, deny prevents. Let us now look into policy assignment and compliance. Assignment walkthrough. 1. Portal, search policy. Definitions to browse. Assignments to create. 2. Choose built-in or custom definition. 3. Set scope plus exclusions. For example, apply to subscription except Azure Legacy. 4. Set parameters. Allowed locations takes a list of permitted regions. 5. Deploy if not exists or modify. Enable managed identity. The policy engine needs an identity to modify resources. 6. Policy activates in about 30 minutes. Initial compliance scan runs automatically. Non-compliant resources. Resources created before the policy was assigned can still violate deny policies. They existed first. For deny, new create/update operations are blocked. Existing violations remain until manually fixed. For dine/modify, create a remediation task to fix existing non-compliant resources automatically. Compliance dashboard. Policy blade shows compliance percent per assignment breakdown per resource state. Exam. Non-compliant resources from before the policy are not automatically deleted by deny policies. What are resource locks? Resource locks guard against the most common cloud disaster: accidental deletion of production resources. There are 2 lock types: cannot delete, delete lock. Here, users can still read and update/modify the resource. They cannot delete it. A best for databases, key vaults, production VMs, things you update regularly but must never accidentally delete. The next is read-only, read lock. Here, users can only read. No modifications, no deletions, best for core networking, VNet, VPN gateway, frozen production configs. Watch out, some read calls in Azure are implemented as writes. Listing storage account keys post blocked by read-only. Starting/stopping a VM blocked by read-only. Creating resources inside a locked RG blocked. Inheritance in this case. Lock on a resource group equals all resources inside are protected. No need to lock each one individually. Who can manage locks? Only owner or user access administrator. A contributor cannot remove a lock, important for preventing devs from accidentally deleting prod. Some critical exam scenario: read-only lock on RG. Team cannot deploy new resources. This is expected behavior. Read-only lock on RG prevents all write operations, including create, so you have to remove lock to deploy. Let us now delve into tags. Tags are key value metadata pairs attached to Azure resources. They serve as labels for organization, filtering, and cost chargeback. Common tag patterns: environment, production, dev, staging, cost center, finance charge codes, owner, email, project, initiative name, department, team. Why they matter: 1. Cost allocation. Filter Azure cost management by cost center tag. Finance sees exactly what each team spends. 2. Automation. Azure automation targets resources by tag. Shut down all VMs. Tag auto shutdown equals true at 7 p.m. 3. Governance. Use policy to require certain tags before resources can be created. Key limits: 50 tags per resource, 512 char key, 128 for storage, 256 char value. Tags do not inherit from RG to resources by default. The critical gotcha: if you tag a resource group environment equals production, the VMs inside do not automatically get that tag. G. Use inherit a tag from the resource group, Azure Policy, Append effect, to make this happen. Exam question: new VMs should automatically inherit the environment tag from their resource group, Azure Policy. Inherit tag from RG Append effect. Let us now focus on cost management. Azure Cost Management is the built-in spend monitoring tool, accessed via Cost Management plus Billing in the portal. Cost analysis. Filter cost by resource, service, tag, location, time period. Tags are what enable meaningful cost filters. If tagged cost center equals marketing, finance can see exact department spend. Forecasting projects month-end bill from current usage. Budgets. Spend threshold with notifications. 1. Set amount, for example, $10,000 per month. 2. Set thresholds. Notify at 80%, 100%, 120%. 3. Action group. Who gets notified email/SMS and what runs, logic app, automation runbook. 4. Forecast alerts. Warn before the threshold is actually hit. The most important exam point. Note these budget alerts are notifications only. Azure does not stop your VMs or delete resources or block new deployments or throttle the usage, so all these are notifications only. For automatic enforcement, use Azure Automation Runbook to deallocate VMs. Let us now consider an exam scenario. Ensure no more than $5,000 per month. VMs should stop when limit is reached. Budget at $5,000 plus action group, triggering runbook to deallocate VMs. What is Azure Advisor? Azure Advisor is like a built-in cloud architect reviewing your environment 24/7. It's free and requires no setup. There are 5 categories. 1. Cost. Most exam-relevant VMs using less than 5% CPU for 30 days, resize or shut down. Save $X/month. Unattached disks costing money, delete them. Consistent usage. Reserved instances, save 40%. 2. Security. Works alongside Defender for Cloud. Enable MFA. Restrict RDP/SSH. Encrypt data. 3. Reliability. This VM has no backup. Enable Azure Backup. Use availability zones for HA. 4. Performance. Write storage tier, disk caching settings, outdated SDK versions in use. 5. Operational excellence. Tagging consistency, monitoring coverage, backup policies. How it works. Analyses config plus usage metrics continuously. Recs appear within 24H. Each rec shows impact, description, affected resources, and estimated savings. Click Implement for some directly from Advisor. Some exam patterns. Which tool identifies underutilized VMs? It would be Azure Advisor, cost, free tool for security posture recommendations. It would be Azure Advisor, security, what shows recommendations to save money. It would be Azure Advisor, not cost management. Cost management shows spending. Advisor recommends how to optimize. Let's look into governance framework now. Here are a few terms revised once again. This is a cheat sheet slide for exam scenario matching. Management groups, governing many subscriptions at once. Apply to all company subscriptions, root management group. Azure Policy, enforcing a rule or auditing compliance. Require tags, only allow VM SKUs B2S/D2S. Ensure backup is enabled Azure Policy. Resource locks, protecting a specific resource from accidental deletion/modification regardless of who is doing it. Even owners can't bypass. Use for critical production resources. Tags, organizing resources, tracking cost by team/project, filtering for automation. Tags themselves don't enforce. Need policy to enforce tagging. Subscriptions, billing isolation, resource quotas, separate environments. Cost management, monitoring what you're spending. Budget alerts. Azure Advisor, getting recommendations to improve environment. Underutilized VMs, cost. Security gaps, security, HA, reliability. RBAC, who can do what? Permissions and Access Control, Module 02. Pattern Review, prevent policy/lock. Protect from delete lock. Organize at scale MGs. Track spend cost management. Recommend Savings Advisor. Let us now consider some exam scenarios. 6 patterns that represent the most frequently tested governance scenarios. 1. Policy versus lock. Classic trap. Prevent all users, including owners, resource lock. Azure Policy deny blocks create/update operations, but it cannot prevent deletion by users with correct RBAC permissions. Resource locks override RBAC entirely. Even owner cannot delete a locked resource without first removing the lock. 2. Tag inheritance. Tags don't inherit automatically. Auto-inherit environment tag from RG. Inherit a tag from the resource group. Policy with append effect. 3. Budget auto stop. Budget alerts equals email only. For actual VM stopping, budget action group automation runbook. If the answer choice shows budget alone as the solution for stopping VMs, it's wrong. 4. Policy at scale. Across all subscriptions, root management group scope. One subscription scope. Match scope to the breadth of requirement. 5. Advisor. Identify underutilized VMs, Azure Advisor, cost. Not cost management, shows spending, and not Azure Monitor, shows metrics. Advisor synthesizes data into actionable recs. 6. Read-only trap. Read-only on RG prevents all writes, including creating new resources. Teams can't deploy until the lock is removed. This often surprises candidates who think, I just wanted to protect existing resources. Let's summarize Module 3 now summary. First of all, excellent work completing Module 03. Key takeaways. Management groups. Containers for subscriptions. Assign governance once. Inherits everywhere below. 6 levels. 10,000 max per tenant. Subscriptions. Billing plus resource boundary. Subscription ID never changes. Rename/move only changes display name. Limits. 980 RGs. 50 tags, 250 SA per region. Azure Policy, Enforcement Engine, Audit, Log, versus Deny, Block. Dine and Modify require managed identity. Takes 30 minutes to activate. Existing resources not auto-deleted by Deny. Resource locks, cannot delete, modify OK, no delete. Read only, no writes. No create inside RG. Both cascade. Require owner/UAA to manage. Override all users. Tags, 50 max. Do not inherit automatically. Inherit tag from RG policy, append to propagate. 50 is the exam testable limit. Cost management. Budgets are notifications only, no auto stop. For actual enforcement, budget action group runbook. Azure Advisor, free. 5 categories. Go-to for underutilized VM identification, cost category. In the next, Module 04 covers Azure Storage, storage accounts, blob storage, Azure files, access keys, SAS tokens, access tiers, and lifecycle management. 15 to 20% exam weight. See you until then. Please like and subscribe.